What's going on, guys? Christian the Christian here. Today I'm going to share what it's been like for me following the Lord for about 13 and a half years, clean and sober, living my life for the Lord. How He took me a high school dropout, brought me to a six-figure income for multiple years, and just totally blessed my life. Took a high school dropout and put me in college, getting degrees, going through trades, getting state certifications, all that kind of stuff. Serving in the church, being a pastor. And I'm going to share my journey, my raw, honest journey with you guys. And hopefully this touches someone out there who's been grinding hard for the Lord. And you just see some things that you want to talk about. I want to let you know you're not alone. So quickly, I just want to jump in and say, before I got saved, I used to be in the world. You know what I'm saying? I'm reflecting, I'm judging myself as I'm making this video. But what I want to share with you guys is honesty, rawness, and truth. I don't want to sugarcoat anything. I don't want to put makeup on it. That's not what I want the start of this YouTube channel to be. So I'm going to get rid of preconceived notions, preconceived expectations. I'm going to fight against the urge to sugarcoat stuff, and I'm just going to keep it real. And I hope it blesses you. So, growing up, I'm one of like 5 siblings. All my siblings moved out when they're like 16. I'm the youngest. And we used to box each other as siblings. My mom and dad both used substance abuse, separated several times, domestic violence like crazy. That trickled down to the children fighting each other. You know how that went for me as the youngest, getting beat up, until I just developed a hardcore anger. All my friends knew me on the street as the guy who would always fight and that kind of stuff. And they knew if we were going to throw down, that I was going to get down, and we were pretty much just going to get the victory on that. And that used to mean a lot to me in the world. But it doesn't take you nowhere. It doesn't get you nowhere. And I want to motivate you guys to see that if God can take someone like me and He could bless me, He could bless you guys. And He can take you guys and make you soar on the wings like eagles. And this is where it gets hard, okay? So let me show you guys, let me tell you a little something. So I went from being in I was homeless when I was like 9 years old, 10 years old. Then I went to like cockroach infested motels and sleeping in like trailers at my friend's place, other poor people. They didn't graduate high school and stuff, and like they didn't even go to school. So we ended up moving in California to this town of about 500,000 people on the poorest side, the dirtiest side of the town. That's where I grew up. And saw a lot of crazy stuff, always getting in fights all the time. Missed a bunch of school, missed like 4th and 5th grade, running the streets, smoking cigarettes, fighting. And my mom and dad separated. It's just me, one of my brothers, and my mom. And my mom's deaf, and she drinks a lot, so she just gets drunk every day. And we live in a motel with cockroaches. And so I would just run the streets, me and my brother. And I used to be scared, but then I realized I got to rise up, So I just rose up and I just said, you know what? I'm going to be the fighter. No one's going to punk us. So that's what I focused on. I ended up being the fighter out of the group. And everybody knew, man, if Christian's with us and we're going to fight, he's going to win the fight. So I was not easy to get along with. Not a lot. I didn't have a lot of friends. I didn't really trust anybody, because who's gonna trust me? It's like a stray cat, You're like a stray cat. You don't know who's gonna be there for you. You know what I mean? You've only been hurt. You've only had rocks and stuff thrown at you, so you're scared. So that's kind of like how I was, but I responded with aggression, anger. If you're gonna grab me, maybe I'm just gonna come at you all crazy. So, or you're gonna come at me some way, I'm gonna come at you some way. And so fast forward, I met a lot of people, a lot of hurt kids from growing up from broken homes, broken families. And my dad used to take his anger out on me a lot and use corporal punishment on me all the time, always spanking me, pulling my pants down, spanking me, yelling at me, cussing me out, telling me how stupid I was. I had so much hatred. I wanted to not live anymore. I got to be careful what I say on here. I didn't want to live anymore. And I used to cry all the time, angry at God. And then, that transpired into smoking cigarettes at a young age. Uh, First time smoking marijuana was like 7. Then smoking cigarettes at the same age. Then I got addicted by the time I was like 10 years old. Smoking cigarettes, 10, 11, and then smoking marijuana. And I just did whatever I wanted. And I grew up in the hood, and nobody cared about me. I didn't care about no one. So I wanted to. I just had to numb myself from the pain I felt. So my dad was in and out of my life, and I just started living with other people at age 11. Started sleeping in, I remember this dirty trailer, but this family took care of me. They used to feed me like top ramen and bologna sandwiches, so I would hang out with them. And as I think of this story, it just chokes me up, man, because I just that's not the way a kid should grow up. A kid shouldn't have to grow up that way. And this is all going somewhere. So, anyways, the system and stuff got involved in my life. My dad started bumping heads with me, and I remember I was 14. I was trying to come and reunite and stuff with all them, and me and my dad got into it. He called the cops. He said he blamed everything on me when he was the one starting all the trouble and drama. And he used to take like money from my disabled brother and like buy drugs, and I would be the only one to stand up to him. Everyone just bowed down to him, and which is something interesting. My middle name's James, and James means one who trips up, or supplanter. And James is one of the sons of thunder. James, the other James, was like the half brother of Jesus, and I just think about that, like the boldness, just standing up to the monster and not being afraid. And I think God uses that in my personality. So going on, if this is too long and you don't really care about my story, then probably this isn't the channel for you. But I care about your story, and I hope you show me the same gratitude to care about my story and to care about other people's stories in your life. Your wife, your girlfriend, your spouse, whoever the case may be. Treat others the way you want to be treated, right? So I have to fight that urge, because to me, I don't think anyone really cares about me. I still struggle with it, even as I've been a grown man for many years now. But let me keep going. So obviously high school dropout. Went to 6 different high schools. I was in like 3 group homes. They tried to put me in foster care. I ran away. Started going to group homes instead, and living with other people. Still smoking cigarettes, still smoking weed or marijuana, drinking alcohol, popping pills, fighting, rolling with people in crews. Some of the people I lived with were straight gang members. I saw a lot of crazy stuff, and I just remember always thinking like, wow, God, what's the point of my life? Why am I here? I'm just numbing myself with all these substances. and I used to struggle with fits of rage, anger, and you know, uh, as I turned about 20 years old, I was working at KFC. I was making a little bit of money, but I was just at an all-time low in a terrible relationship, in a using heavy, starting to get into like a heavy drug and that kind of stuff. And so, I just began to reach out to God and say, you know what am I doing? And I was struggling with it. I was in bondage to sin, but I was reading the Bible and I was trying to figure out, man, what do I do? And so, I ended up getting in trouble with the law. But once I went to jail and stuff, I just said, you know what? I don't want to continue this lifestyle. I see these people coming back and forth and all this kind of stuff. So I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna just tell the judge that I just need help, And so I did. Then he told me I need to go to like do a bunch of classes, substance use, anger. I was in a bad relationship. I had to go deal with all this kind of drama and all this kind of stuff. But to me, God used that, just like in the life of Joseph. A lot of terrible circumstances happened in his life. And, he may have went to jail. He may have had done some terrible things. But I'm no saint. But God can use what people meant for evil and turn that into something good. And that's what happened in my life. And God knows the truth. So with that being said, I just radically, not like overnight, because I was saved, but it was a process, like a 4-month process of me reading the Word, of soaking it, of reading the Bible, and then like taking a couple months to try to find a church and that kind of stuff. And then I did. And I remember I was going to like 3 different Bible studies. And anyways, I got saved. Let me back up though. When I was in the system, I was only 16 years old, and I was in an inappropriate relationship with a therapist, and it was a woman, and I was a young man. But it totally messed up my mindset, and it just really set me back in life. And that's when I just started falling into that like hard substance use and that kind of stuff. Just like only one drug, but I don't know if I can say that on here, but whatever. So that happened, and then I ended up reaching back out to that person after I broke it off with them when I was 17, and then I reached back out to them when I was 21, when I was a baby newborn Christian, and I got saved at 20, but then I turned 21. And I slipped, and I reached out to them, and I started talking to them again, and then I just said, you know what? No way. Like, it didn't even feel the same. It just felt dirty, just like wrong. It didn't feel right. But I didn't want to snitch on them, And so I didn't say nothing, I just closed that chapter in my life and walked on with myself and gave my life to the Lord fully. Got my GED, went to school, got my associate's degree, my bachelor's degree from a accredited university. I learned how to read and write. I learned how to, trust me, if I can do it, guys, you guys can do it too. You guys are a human being just like me. If I can do it, high school dropout, missed a bunch of school, you guys can do it too. So there's literally no excuses, especially if you're a Christian, you got the Holy Spirit. So I started going to a church, and I'm all in for Christ, guys. Like I'm ready to go evangelize. I got that new believer, just like, let's go all in, all day, every day. Forget food. Like, let's just live for Jesus. Kind of reckless, but passionate. And I got to go to churches and start learning theology and learning how to read the Bible and what do the books of the Bible mean. How to read a book of the Bible, all that kind of stuff. So, then I started kind of seeing some stuff in like the church after like, I met my wife and we co-led Bible study on a Bible campus or on a city college campus. and then we ended up getting married, and because we co-led a Bible study together. It was co-ed for men and women, and so we did that for 10 months together, and we were part of like a Christian fellowship. But fell in love, started a family. We got married first, did it all right, you know. We weren't perfect, we made mistakes, but we always talked to the elders and the pastors and stuff, and got premarital counseling to make sure it was right for us to get married, in which we got the blessing. So we tried our best, and we both come from interesting backgrounds, but the Lord just brought us together, and for ministry, and then love and passion developed out of that, and we got married. That's what Paul says. So after graduating, I started doing a lot of nonprofit stuff. I made a special major. It was nonprofit. I started going to seminary. It was like crazy. Like, I'm not trying to offend anybody by saying liberal, but they were just super liberal, like super, like, where all they wanted to do was talk about white people are bad, and like, just like crazy liberal theology, just like God, like Jesus is not who we think he is. He didn't come to die on the cross for our sins. Just like taking, but these people are like college, so they say it in a very collegiate, scholarly, academic way, and I had to learn how to deal with those things. So I started to, and after going to that church for about 6.5 years, I realized, you know what, this church ain't for me. Like, they started just going off the deep end, and just all the things that like are debatable, they were doing the debatable aspect, like the side where you're like, wow, you're on that side, like not just in one area, 2 areas, 3 areas, and so a lot, I don't know, like some people started leaving, all I know is all the pastors stepped down. They all have new pastors there at that church now, so hopefully God's reforming that church or whatever. But then I went to another church, and it was predominantly African American, or black, and I went there for 2 years. I went to Bible college there at the Bible Institute, and I did 2 years there, got a couple certificates. All my certificates are behind me, and while I was there, I started working as a electrical apprentice. And the whole time I'm trying to become a pastor while working as an electrical apprentice to provide for my wife and my son, and pay the bills of our house and all that. So God took me from like $20 an hour all the way up to like total package of like just up there. I was making 6 figures by the time I was in my 5th year. My 4th year, I was probably close to that. I was probably at like 80, 90K. And then my 5th year, I was at like 100K. And then another year, I was probably at like over 100K easy, like well over. And I was just working, and paying for my seminary. But the issues that I was having along this whole journey of going through that 5-year apprenticeship and working hard is, see, when I got saved and I got born again, I got totally invested into following Jesus. But not everyone shares that same passion. Not everyone is doing that. Not everyone cares, And so, I started seeing like all white church, all black church, all brown Mexican church, And I don't like using white, black, and brown. I think it's demonic. We shouldn't just like list every white person from Europe as white. I don't care what mankind did. That was like sin. That was wrong. We don't have to pick up their lingo. Like, if you're German, you're German. If you're French, you're French. If you're Spaniard, you're Spaniard. If you're Mexican, you're Mexican. You know what I'm saying? if you're from Kenya in Africa, you're Kenyan, you know what I mean? Like, tell me who you are. Let's not use this. There's only one race, the human race. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a quarter Filipino. I'm half, just for the sake of this video, like white European, and then I'm also like Hispanic and Latino, like a quarter. That's me. And so that's why I could never like just like, okay, I'm gonna kick it with these people only, these people, these people, these people. I didn't grow up traditional. And I think God wants to use me to kind of disrupt the system and say, hey, we shouldn't be living like this, you know? And so the reason why I'm starting this channel is I just want to share these things with people. You're not alone, man. And I just started seeing favoritism with like nepotism, not only in the workplace that you see in the world where like people get positions of authority and they get their job promotion just because they're family or their friends. And you've been there working hard. So I expect that from like a worldly company, but not in the church. And I started seeing that in the church with like, you know, like the church is only sticking with their own people and only being cliquey with their own people and only promoting their own people and talking bad about the other people. Like stereotyping, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I can't get down with that. You know what I'm saying? We're one race, the human race. We all need to get along. And then they're like, some people are like, you're half white, you're half privileged. And then the other half of me is not privileged. Like I'm fighting, I'm warring against myself every day. Like it just, you know, it just got crazy. So I just got the idea of, I went to school, I learned how to run nonprofits. I did a lot of nonprofit volunteer work and work at nonprofits. You know, one of my last jobs was like a tutoring club director. I was a part of a church plant as well. Started a church. Did that for like 15 months. I was a pastor. And, you know, we gave our all. And you come across some people in life that they don't care about, they just see color. They just see color. And it that breaks my heart, you know. And so like God was just sharing with me that he's going to use me to start churches. He's going to use me to have an influence on YouTube, because I've been putting in that work, guys. See these? I'm not trying to boast. I just want to let you guys know that this doesn't make me infallible. I am still capable of making mistakes. But I want to let you guys know, you reap what you sow. If you work hard at it, if you're there reading the books, you're putting in the practice, then you know. Like if you know how to work on cars, you're certified, you know. Like I'm a certified journeyman. I know about electrical. That doesn't mean I know everything, but I know how to use the code book with the Bible. I'm pretty good at using the Bible to dissect what the Word of God means. That doesn't mean I know everything about the Bible. So I'm in seminary. I just got a graduate level Bible certificate. I'm about to get my biblical exposition certificate. It's been super brutal because I did Greek and Hebrew at the same time. And I did 15 units in one semester. So, and I'm a business owner. So it can be hectic, you know. And I'm going to focus a little more on the business and more on YouTube. I'm going to take a break from seminary because I think I'm already ready to just keep going. Like I already have the skills and the proper hermeneutics to navigate the Bible. So, you know, I've made 6 figures, you know. God's taken me from, you know, going back to Joseph, he says, Joseph says, he names his kid like Ephraim and Manasseh. And he's talking about what back in the day they would name their kids based off meaning, like what it meant to them, you know, what they were going through. And so he named his kids like one of like, he no longer remembers his past because of all the blessings. Joseph went from being like the lowest of the low, getting falsely accused, going to jail, to being second in command. and overseeing all of Egypt, the most lucrative part of the world. And God put him in charge. And so you may have gone through a bunch of bad stuff and a bunch of difficulty in your life, but I'm a living testimony that God can take someone who's like insignificant, some kid that's been abandoned, mistreated, abused by the system, and he uses that person for his glory. God can use you for his glory. And he used me. And God will bless you. You reap what you sow. If you guys want to work hard, you want to make money, you can make money. Just don't let it become your God. Don't love money. Because then all types of evil comes from that. You get selfish, and I seen guys make millions of dollars, and they start cheating on their wife and all that kind of stuff. It's because they're loving money. They just want it. Oh, I have money, I have power. The devil tricked them. The devil just tricked them. The money doesn't make you. It's who you are in here first. A man of integrity, a man of security. So, being someone that's gone and done church plants and that kind of stuff, what I want to start doing, guys, is I want to start evangelizing more. I've done evangelism. I've just been putting my head down and grinding and working hard in seminary, church plant, school, now the business. I just started a business, so it's been and why am I starting a business? I'm starting a business so I could, all this kind of stuff is kind of like a conversation as I'm talking to you guys, I don't got no script. I'm not a scripted guy. I appreciate you guys' time, so the more I do this more, the more I can do it well, but, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Help me build a community on here. And I care about you guys. I want this to be a tight community, people on fire for the Lord, on fire for Jesus, man, seeing breakthrough in their life, giving their life to the Lord. I don't care what your circumstances like right now. I don't care if you're in a shelter. God's going to take you and use you mightily. Just keep following him. That's what he did in my life. He took someone who had nothing and gave me everything. And he had favor on me. He opened up doors. He kept me safe. He protected me. And when I got reckless, he disciplined me. God disciplines me. He keeps me humble. He keeps me from going too far, Sometimes you just want to give up and just go, screw everybody. You don't know me. You think you know me? You know what I'm saying? You want to let that old person out. All right? So, let me start to just wrap this up, the last couple minutes here. I want to thank you guys for tuning in, making it this far. That means a lot to me. Thank you for caring. And what am I going to be up to? I've gone through a lot of church hurt, pastors showing their human nature, and these systems where they're promoting people that look like them, talk like them, act like them in every single people group. You know what I'm saying? And they are not living on fire for the Lord, being lazy. They just getting a tithe or whatever, And I don't mean to judge them, but I just think we could do better. So I want to see YouTube reached. I want to see YouTube used as a platform by Christians to just win souls, make disciples. I want to look back at this video years from now and go, wow, look at God. Look how God worked, And so quickly as I just wrap this up, God can take someone like me who was a high school dropout, abused, and take me on to have a house, good cars, good family, 6-figure income for his glory, to build the church, and he can do it in your life too. So if you want to join the community, consider subscribing. I'm going to cap this video at 30 minutes. Thank you for watching to the end. You guys take care and God bless. I love you so much. More to come, more to follow. You guys got questions, comments, or concerns, let me know. God bless.